Myself, Syed Abdul Mannan, Faculty of MBA Department. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Institution Innovation Council, I am here to welcome Dr. Mohammed Ikramullah Aman, Head MBA Department, as a resource person for this session. His webinar is on the title Accelerator Incubation Opportunities for Student and Faculty Early Stage Entrepreneurs. Following the policies of Dr. Muhammad Wizarat Rasul Khan Sahab and under the esteemed guidance of our chairman, Mr. Muhammad Shalam Khan Rasul Sahab, and the motivation of our principal, Dr. Muhammad Atikhur Rahman sir, and under the guidance of our director, Professor S.A. Muneem sir, and director and Dr. B. Srinivas sir, we are organizing this session for student and faculty. I want to welcome our resource person, Dr. Aman sir, for taking over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Syed Abdul Mannan Sahab. It is my privilege to be given this opportunity to present a webinar on the title Accelerators, Incubation, Opportunities for Students and Faculty, Early Stage Entrepreneurs. I am extremely thankful to our Honorable Chairman, Mr. Muhammad Shalam Rasul Khan Sahab, and our beloved principal, Dr. Muhammad Atikhur Rahman Sahab, and our respected directors, Professor Simudim sir and Dr. B. Srinivas sir, for giving me this opportunity to present this webinar. Dear friends, the title is Accelerators, Incubation, and Opportunities for Students and Faculty as an Early Stage Entrepreneurs. Now, before starting with early stage entrepreneurs, I must put some light on accelerators, the role of accelerators, the role of incubation centers in any university or college. Now, the government of India, AICT, they are promoting, they are encouraging all the students throughout India to become entrepreneurs. Now, to make our startup grow and be successful, we need incubator centers. And later on, we require the services of accelerators. Dear friends, incubation centers so these centers, they act as a school for any entrepreneur during the initial stages of his startup. Just like in a school, the student undergoes different programs and he is slowly developing, his mind is developing, his intellect is developing, improving. Similarly, an incubator helps an entrepreneur to nurture ideas, you can say raw ideas or such ideas which are still in disruptive stage, not refined, not defined. So in incubator, the entrepreneurs will try to define their ideas, improve their ideas, and they will take the help of or expertise of the incubator experts, and they will develop and evolve in a viable product into a viable product. The ideas will be converted into viable products. Whereas accelerators play a different role, they come into the picture afterwards when some business model is developed and a viable product comes into existence and a target market is identified and we are about to introduce the product, or rather we have introduced the product, we want investments, we want still more expertise, we want more funds. At this stage, the accelerators come into existence. These are companies or firms which fund those potential entrepreneurs who have a good viable product and there is a good scope for growth of the and that startup. So incubators focus primarily on stimulating innovation. They incubate raw ideas in the early startups, whereas accelerators are aimed at accelerating the growth of the companies and scaling them up. Whereas accelerators, they provide a lot of experience, years worth of experience within a short period through structured training programs to the entrepreneur. They help the entrepreneur to understand about all objectives, policies, strategies of management and all departments, finance, human resources, marketing, if it requires logistics, all related departments, their departmental objectives, policies, strategies, all in all these matter, the accelerators help the entrepreneur, guide the entrepreneur. Now we must first of all, we require to differentiate between incubators and accelerators and understand the role they play. Before studying, before discussing on the opportunities available for an entrepreneur. Opportunities are many, but for an entrepreneur, the story begins in the incubation center. The story begins when, for example, Archimedes shouted, yelled, Eureka, when he was able to found that the volume of a crown can be found, the volume can be calculated with the help of the displacement of water if that object is immersed in that water. The amount of water displaced, it can be through that he has calculated the volume of the crown which was irregular shaped. An idea came while he was taking a bath. That idea is then nurtured, it is refined, it is developed. So that generation of idea, we call it as creativity, that leads to invention and innovation. So in that all that happens in an incubator. So incubator is designed to help startups in their infancy and provide help with legal services, expertise, technical assistance, financial assistance, advices, all this so as to convert the idea into a viable product. So here I am trying to differentiate the incubator and the accelerator based upon certain parameters. The first is concept. The concept of incubator is It is simply taking the advice of experts and turning the idea into a viable product. Whereas an accelerator offers mentorship, capital, and connections to investors and business partners. Accelerators, they attract investors and investments, and through which the business will grow. And they, instead of charging a fees, they will try to buy the shares of that business. So there is a difference between the concept of an incubator and accelerator. Basically, it depends upon the stage of the startup. Second criteria is outcome. The outcome of an incubator, it considers a larger ecosystem. An ecosystem consists of so many factors, environmental factors or stakeholder influences. All that comes under ecosystem. So incubator considers all the factors of ecosystem to generate the idea, refine the idea, and understand the opportunities, problems of the customers, and convert it into a viable product. So different factors are considered, and that a network of relationship with these with other business owners and stakeholders is uh, provided to the entrepreneur and guides the entrepreneur to utilize those resources judiciously. Whereas an accelerator, it helps in specific outcomes, specific objectives. For example, raising funds, attracting investors, reaching to the target market, attracting new customers. That is specific outcome is there. The third basis is tenure. Incubators, they help a startup company from starting from 1 to 3 years. For a long time, a long-term program is used to support a startup, whereas an accelerator takes a very short-term program. It could be for a few weeks or few months. Revenue, based upon revenue, the incubators, they charge a fees. It is totally, the charges are on fees basis, whereas an accelerator buys the equity shares of the company. Many companies are there in India as well as outside. For example, a few examples I've taken here. The incubators like Angel Prime, Khosla Labs, Srijan Capital, Seed Farm, Seed Fund, Sign. Whereas accelerators, very popular accelerator is Y Combinator, Techstars, Plug and Play, Mass Challenge, Thiel Fellowship. Now, to explain further, I have taken two case studies. The first case, here you can see there is a company by the name Razon Pay. Razon Pay. This company is an online payment service company which utilizes UPI, credit card, debit card services for payments. Now, this company, Razon Pay, when it was in the stage of a startup and it was growing slowly, it took the services of the accelerator company Y Combinator. Y Combinator is an American technology startup accelerator which funds early stage startups with investment of $500,000 per company twice a year. This is meant to boost up its growth, and as a result, the company was able to attract more investors and the growth of the company increased many folds. So the growth of Razon Pay increased many folds with the help of the accelerator company Y Combinator. This American technology startup accelerator, it has already launched more than 3,000 companies. Razon Pay is one amongst those 3,000 companies. Other companies are Quora, Reddit, Dropbox. So many companies are there. So it is providing initial investment of $500,000 for a company twice a year. So such an investment, such a financial support uh, makes the company grow, and the results are manifold. Second case I have taken here is Oyo Rooms, Oyo Rooms. This is a online hotel booking site. So for this company, online hotel booking site. It took the help of the accelerator Thiel Fellowship. The Thiel Fellowship is owned by Peter Thiel. So now what does he do? He is funding those students who are dropout, age at 22 years or younger, with $100,000 for 2 years in their early startups. The Oyo Room, the owner, was also a youngster who was a college dropout, and he was motivated with this, and he opened his startup company, and now the company is seeing a remarkable growth in a very short span of time. These incubators incubators provide a lot of services. As per the US-based International Business Innovation Association estimates, there are about 7,000 incubators worldwide. The prominent services are they help with the business basics. Basics in the sense, the business model, the structure, mission, vision, objectives, strategies, policies. Then networking activities. It helps to develop a network of which encompasses stakeholders and all players in the whole supply chain. So it provides networking activities. It provides marketing assistance, market research, high-speed internet access, help with financial management, access to bank loans, loan funds, guarantee programs, help with presentation skills. It links to strategic partners, access to angel investors or venture capital, comprehensive business training programs, intellectual property management. So many activities are there and services are there which incubators are providing to the entrepreneurs who are in the stage of a startup, early stage startup. What is an early stage entrepreneur? An early stage entrepreneur is an entrepreneur engaged in growing an early stage company, which has been recently been founded. Now, there are 7 I's required for entrepreneurship for an early stage entrepreneur. Inspiration. The first one is inspiration or motivation. He must be inspired, encouraged, motivated to become an entrepreneur. Now, there is a big difference between an entrepreneur and a simple employee working in any company. An entrepreneur comes across a variety of activities. For example, entrepreneur will be designing the whole organizational structure. He will chalk out departmentation, delegate authority. He will define the interaction, or you can say the coordination amongst the departments. He will be designing the company from the start. Whereas an employee working in a company, he will stick to the guidelines, orders, or commands, or you can say instructions given by his higher ups. So an entrepreneur engages in multiple technologies, whereas an employee will be dealing with specific technology. The multiple technologies require in-depth knowledge of applications related to all departments. An entrepreneur has to adopt a very dynamic leadership skill set, management skill set. Now, this skill set has to be, you can say, adaptable to the changing environment. He cannot stick to one style, one particular skill. As per the requirement, as per the situation requires, he has to utilize appropriate skill set to manage all the activities. Now, he will control integrated communication. Uh, the communication flowing down, moving up, everything, all different directions of communications will be controlled by an entrepreneur. And he has a big challenge before him, an entrepreneur, that innovation, creativity is required in everyday activity. So innovation becomes, you can say, his lifestyle. He has to live with it. Without innovation or creativity, he cannot survive. Entrepreneur requires a lot of innovation and creativity skills as compared to a simple employee. So entrepreneur is exposed to all different departments and their functions: finance, human resources, production, marketing, every function. He will be the person who will be, of course, designing, or you can say he will be acting as a part of it, designing, supervising all these functions. So he will learn those, he will be learning all the process, all the functions in the process. Entrepreneur requires a lot of networking throughout the supply chain, through so many different stakeholders. So with all these efforts, critical thinking, creative thinking, self-awareness, coping with stress, empathy with customers and employees, effective communication skills, you can say all these life skills, all are required for an entrepreneur. And so many are not required for an employee. So these skills help an entrepreneur for the achievement of high growth, high profits, and a big contribution to the country as a whole. So entrepreneur should basically must have a purpose. He will be having a purpose to, for example, he will contribute in nation building. He will try to boost up the economy, increase GDP. So many different ways he can say very noble objectives he can frame for himself or herself. For whatever purpose he will formulate, he will set, he must have equal amount of passion to achieve that purpose. And definitely he will be coming across different challenges and threats. So there he has to exhibit patience and intelligence and wisdom to tackle those threats and challenges. So entrepreneurship or entrepreneur plays a very important and you can say difficult role. Difficult role. So hence, he requires a lot of inspiration, ideation, and individual confidence. He should be able to incubate ideas, develop ideas, reframe, refine different ideas. He should be a broad-minded person, and he must have that innovative skills, and he should try for investment from, can say, accelerators and other investors, and he should be able to internationalize, to discuss and deliberate on innovation and entrepreneurship for unleashing business opportunities available in the country. Now, what are the business opportunities? What are business opportunities? Now, opportunities are basically, these are, you can say, uh, inputs from the customers, inputs from the population. Everybody, all human beings are customers or consumers. So they will be having some problems. They will be facing some problems in different areas. A customer might be involved in transportation, communication, hoteling, hospital sector. Different areas are there which every human being come across us. There he will be getting services from different companies, but many services the customer might not be getting fully satisfied. He will be feeling some issues there. He will be finding some problems there. All those problems or issues in a given service can become opportunities for an entrepreneur. So opportunities are those problems, hidden problems, or explicitly stated problems of customers. So those problems must be understood. As it is said, a problem fully understood is half solved. So once we are able to, an entrepreneur is able to understand the problem, identify the problem, so he can think about developing an idea, a solution for it to overcome the problem. So all problems of the customers are opportunities for entrepreneurs. You can say, as somebody said it wisely, customer is a person who is कष्ट से मर रहा है, dying of pain. तो a customer is a person who is कष्ट से मर रहा है. It is your job, your role, you must play there to identify his kasht, his problem, and overcome it using your ideas, technology. So entrepreneurs have a huge role to play. So opportunities never knock on the door. You have to knock on the opportunities door, and they are all around. You can find them if only you have the lenses to see them and recognize the same. So an entrepreneur should be able to identify and recognize, understand opportunities. Now there are many opportunities available in different areas. I have taken few cases here. For example, you take tourism. The tourism industry contributes to more than 70% of the national income of some countries like Malaysia and Singapore. Whereas in India, the contribution is only 2.5%. There is a big potential in tourism industry where entrepreneurs can focus and make a startup. India is you can say, a treasure trove for tourism development. There are long, unspoiled beaches of golden sands and swaying coconut trees, snowy slopes of great mountain ranges like Himalayas. There are different sprawling forts in different places in cities of India, and so many palaces, breathtaking and beautiful palaces are there. Wildlife sanctuaries and sea worlds are available as a very good potential for tourism. India can become #1 tourist destination in the world, with the demand growing at 10.1% per annum. Then takes automobile industry. It is also a hotspot for automobiles. India is a hotspot for automobiles and auto components. India, particularly, the small car industry. India has become one of the world's largest manufacturers of small cars, with a strong engineering base and expertise. But there are still many segments untapped, unserved by entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs can tap those areas where there is a gap. Then we can see textiles also. The style of apparel is unique from different region to state in India. India, I can say, is having a unity in diversity. A huge diversity is there amongst the taste and likes of the people of India. So that difference of taste is prominent amongst apparel industry also, textile products also. The different areas, you take north and south, east and west, every area is, the people of those areas are identified by different apparels, their dresses. So entrepreneurs have a big scope there also, and they can unleash the potential there in this sector also. And we have this green apparels also, organic cotton, which is also seeing a boom here now in India. Next, we have social ventures. For example, take the example of Lizzat Papad Seva, SEWA, Seva. These are two social ventures Uh, we cannot miss them. These are social entrepreneurship. In India, we have a myriad of social issues or problems, and all those problems offer opportunities to young entrepreneurs. Of course, plunging into such social ventures is challenging also. Take the next software industry. India is known for its largest pool of world-class software engineers world over. Entrepreneurs can cash in on the rise in demand for IT services with innovative and cost-effective solutions. Then comes franchising. Franchising of leading brands are spread across the country and offer a lot of opportunities for young entrepreneurs, especially in service sector like education and health. Next, take education and training. We have online tutorial services booming in India. There is a good demand for education, which is through online. New courses are being introduced, and need-based educational programs with innovative teaching methods are being introduced, which help a lot in a big way to make the education develop and flourish in our country. There also, entrepreneurs have a good scope to make a startup. Take the case of food processing, sugar industry, vegetable packing plants. There is a good scope there here also, as the level of processing in perishable foods like fruits, vegetables, milk and milk products, meat, poultry, marine products is also quite low. It has to be improved. Now, due to lack of infrastructure, lack of inefficient, lack of efficient management, lack of proper storage facilities, every year there is a huge loss of food grains and fresh produce in India. So that enables entrepreneurs to tap this potential area, and they can make a start away. Take next Ayurveda and traditional medicine. Here also a lot of scope is there, particularly in cosmetics and natural medicines and the remedies in coming time. When we speak about food industry, special foods like allergen-free food, gluten-free food, low glycemic foods, or these types of special foods are also having good potential for entrepreneurs. They can go for production, cultivation, production, marketing, storage of all these types of product, packaging also. There is a scope for entrepreneurs. The media is always developing, specifically digital media. It is seeing a boom in business. Digital marketing are courses being introduced where the media is being used with a very innovative and creative way to promote the products. There is a scope, a huge scope for entrepreneurs to enter. Take the case of packaging. Of course, China had previously invaded the market with cheap plastic goods and packaging material. Now the government has become more conscious about environmental safety and security. So plastic has been banned. There is a good opportunity to develop good environmentally safe packaging materials to meet the domestic demand and foreign demand. There also, we have a lot of scope. Entrepreneurs can probe this area also. Take the case of floriculture. This is also a huge market still to be tapped. There is a rising demand for fresh flowers, So India's share in the world trade is just 0.18% in this floriculture sector. Entrepreneurs can definitely, they can tap this area also and make a startup here also. You can consider toys also. This area is also an evergreen industry where usually the Chinese toys have um, they have taken the market share, but they have been using uh, such material which have toxins in it, and to overcome this, the Indian manufacturers, Indian entrepreneurs can uh, definitely they can produce and they can market cost effective and safe toys for the world. So Indian entrepreneurs can have a good day here also. Next, take the case of healthcare sector. Healthcare sector. Of course, this sector is always booming, and there is a high demand for quality care, healthcare. Amongst this huge sector, there is a market for in-home medical care providers. In-home medical care providers capable for caring for the senior aged persons who cannot take who cannot be admitted to hospitals. They are either disabled, they have some issues. So for such senior aged patients, in-home medical care providers are agencies are providing. So such agencies are, can say, entrepreneurs. They have a good scope here. Uh, the services of an in-home medical care provider ranges from the income of that person ranges from 30,000 to 50,000 per month. And take the case of biotechnology. Biotechnology opens a huge potential for entrepreneurs in India. The aim is to produce crops with high level of tolerance against cold, heat, salinity, diseases. The future entrepreneurs can therefore look at a plethora of options available with the application of biotechnology in agriculture, horticulture, sericulture, poultry, dairy, production of fruits and vegetables. A huge scope is here for entrepreneurs to make a startup here. Take the next, energy solutions. Energy solutions. Now, this sector has also opened new vistas of viable business opportunities for entrepreneurs in terms of e-waste management and disposable activities in large scale. Cost-effective, power-saving devices are required now. Tube lights, bulbs, all such gadgets where uh, they consume less energy are the areas where entrepreneurs can definitely work out a business model, and they can uh, grow in that area. And lastly, we have recycling business. Recycling business. Recycling of waste products, waste papers, water, and so many areas are there where recycling of the air can be done, and it provides a very good potential for startup, developing a startup, starting a startup for entrepreneurs. Therefore, this sector also opens many opportunities in terms of e-waste management and disposal activities in large scale. In this era, particularly computer waste is growing, increasing by 500%. So that can be utilized properly, recycled properly. There it also provides a lot of scope for entrepreneurs to make a startup. Many activities are still there. I have given few of the the areas or sectors where entrepreneurs can find a good potential for a startup. So, any entrepreneur must have a purpose and a passion to achieve that purpose, and of course, to tackle all the challenges and threats. He must be a person who having good level of patience, wisdom. As somebody said, wisely said, patience is second wisdom. Only then he will be able to achieve prosperity, recognition, money, etc., and ultimately a peace of mind. So I hope this information and this discussion is helpful and beneficial to all of you. It is my privilege, and I'm thankful to the management for giving me this opportunity to say few words on this topic. I'm extremely thankful to our Honorable Chairman Sir, Principal Sir, Director Sir, Directors, and IIC President, Vice President, the whole team, my faculty members also. Now I give this to our faculty, Syed Abdul Manan Saab, for vote of thanks. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Syed Abdul Mannan, Assistant Professor of MBA Department. I want to thank our Honorable Chairman, sir, for giving this opportunity to organize this wonderful seminar. I would like to thank our respected principal, sir, for encouraging us to organize such a seminar and inviting the resource person Dr. Mohammed Ikramullah Aman, Professor and Head of the Department of MBA. Dr. Aman has given this seminar on the topic Acceleration, Incubation, Opportunities for Student and Faculty Early Stage Entrepreneur. Thank you, Dr. Aman sir, for an informative and valuable speech. I am also thankful to IIC team for organizing this event, and especially Dr. R. Jyoti Kumar, President IIC, Professor CSC Department, Dr. Ilyas, Vice President, Professor and Head ECE Department, Dr. Naseeb Khan, Convener IIC, Professor and Head of Mechanical Department, for giving this opportunity to give vote of thanks. Thanks to all for your cooperation. Thank you.